Do you want to be better at games to impress everyone? To impress yourself? Then you need to get yourself down to a theme park today to get good.
A theme park? Why?
Because, dear viewer, according to GameStop.com, the theme park industry are making gamers left, right, and
It
center.
doesn't make any sense. Unless you mean...
You got it. Now go make that video before Billy Mays comes at you for more.
Hi, Billy Mays here to share with you the most important product I have ever endorsed.
Yo, Disney adults, welcome back to another video. Thank you for dropping in. Theme parks and gaming, what do they have in common? To answer this question, we're going to be deep diving into the past, the present. Let's travel back in time to June 19th, 1998, the day Disney Quest opened in downtown Disney, now Disney Springs, at the Walt Disney World Resort. The Disney Quest opened on June the 19th, 1998 at the Walt Disney World's downtown Disney. The building was a 5-story high structure with no windows, just how us gamers like it, which guests entered into the ground floor to be greeted by an elevator that took you to the Disney arcade gaming paradise. The Disney Quest experience, or DQE, was full of immersive games inspired by movies, franchises and classic arcade games. Sadly, it closed on July the 3rd, 2017 to make way for the NBA experience. Which lasted 2 years, which opened in August 12th, 2019, and then August 16th, 2021, it was announced it would be closing permanently. The plan for this ambitious gaming megaplex of a project was to allow people to explore through VR and gaming that couldn't get to the theme parks. In a sense, it was bringing those experiences to them. It was meant to target large urban areas, hence Chicago being a target. And there were plans for one in Philadelphia to be built had the Chicago one done well. There were once plans for Disneyland Resort in California and also in Toronto. All were but scrapped, and the remaining assets were passed from the Disney Regional Entertainment to the Walt Disney World Productions, where the only one stayed operational until 2017. So Disney Quest was built and popular in the late 90s and early 2000s, which means the design had to be timeless and had to blend in with the ever-changing trends around the parks and the world. And this stayed true. The Disney Quest never got changed, aside from one ride in Chicago that got changed from Hercules to Pirates of the Caribbean, so I guess you could say it stood the test of time until its demise. Now, I don't know why, but Genie was the unofficial mascot of Disney Quest, and Disney seems to be obsessed with putting Genie with technological things like Genie Plus and Disney Quest as well. However, he was voiced by Dan Castellaneta, who does Homer Simpson and an array of Simpsons characters, welcoming you to the DQE, the Disney Quest experience. And he was all over the place in there, from the end of the day announcements, fixing the arcade machines when they were down, sending like a message on screen as well. Now, I know why you gamers and Disney adults are here. You want to know what was offered? Well, I'm going to give you the goods, baby. So we're going to split it up into the floors. So we're starting on the first floor. And fancy yourself a swashbuckling adventure with Captain Jack Sparrow? Then look no further than Pirates of the Caribbean Battle for Buccaneer Gold. This ride takes you on an adventure like a real-life pirate would take. Destroy ships, sea monsters, and fortresses to acquire gold. You and 4 others can control the ship and the cannons to have yourself a swashbuckling time. Or do you prefer a jungle cruise? Oh, you're not in the wrong park. I mean, technically you are, but DQE has got you covered. Climb aboard an inflatable raft and use real paddles to paddle your way through the prehistoric rivers. Avoid the dinos and get sprayed with water occasionally, all the while looking for Rick Moranis' time machine to get back to the present day. Now, it's Rick Moranis from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids franchise, not just randomly Rick Moranis. I couldn't pronounce his name in the movie. I think it's like Stan Taziki or something like that. I ain't embarrassing myself like that today, so Rick Moranis, because I know how to say his name. Let's take the elevator to the second floor. Well, I'm doing it wrong. Look at that! we've moved up in the world. Well, building. The 7th floor offers even more. So let's take a look. Cyberspace Mountain. And guests could design their own roller coaster and a design kiosk and sit in a pitch and roll simulator and ride it. Guests may also ride pre-built coasters. It was hosted by Bill Nye the Science Guy, although he was not known as Bill Nye the Science Guy here. Oh no, he was Bill Nye the Coaster Guy. Oh yeah. And then we have Aladdin's Magic Carpet Ride. Players wear a HMD as they ride a magic carpet through Agrabah, collecting gems to find the genie who has been hidden away in the Cave of Wonders. And then you've got Animation Academy. Regular sessions throughout the day where you can learn to draw your favourite characters with light pens on computer screens, and then you can purchase your own little design afterwards. And then moving on to Sid's Creator Toy, a program featuring the evil Sid character from Toy Story. You got to create your own once-in-a-lifetime toy, and you got to print it and purchase it. So it's like a limited, it's a very special edition souvenir. Living Easels was an interactive touchscreen program where guests can place various images onto several selectable backgrounds, and a full colour printout of the guest design may be purchased later. So, you know, a little bit of colouring, very cool. And then Radio Disney Song Maker, pretty self-explanatory. You make your own song, lo and behold, you get to buy it at the end. Moving on to the 3rd floor. Follow me, please, into the elevator. Alright, we made it. Woo! What does floor 3 offer us? Mighty Ducks Pinball Slam. Based on the Disney Afternoon cartoon, players become a pinball in a gigantic projected pinball game by rocking their duck back and forth. Up to 12 players at a time control their corresponding pinball on the screen, attempting to collect the most points. And then we have Buzz Lightyear's Astro Blaster. Players board bumper cars and attempt to navigate over foam balls on the floor. By doing so, the asteroids will be sucked up into the cabin where the players can then load them into a cannon and shoot them at the other cars. If hit in the correct spot, one car may spin around uncontrollably for 10 seconds. Nah, that's a long time. That's a long time. 10 seconds. Come on now. Usually there are 2 players to a car, however it is possible for one person to pilot and shoot at the same time. So if you're feeling a bit of a solo mission, it's all good, you can do that. And that's it for the 3rd floor. Moving up to the 4th floor. Now there is only one attraction at the 4th floor, but oh my gosh does it sound cool. It's called Ride the Comics. This is Ride the Comics 4, and I'll explain in a minute why it's 4. Because this is the first one. There isn't any more below this, but we'll get to that. But players wear a HMD to enter the comic book world. Players battle with supervillains by using a laser sword, and up to 6 players can be on a team at a time, so it can be 6 against 6. So 12 people can play all at once and defeat the villains. It looks very, very cool. It sounds so cool. It sounds insane. The 5th floor. Now, Ride the Comics was on the 4th floor and the 5th floor. So, Ride the Comics 5. So, it's exactly the same. It must have been very, very popular. So, there's only technically one new attraction on the 5th floor. And that is Invasion, an extraterrestrial alien encounter. Now, if you don't know about this ride, this was based on the extraterrestrial alien encounter in Magic Kingdom, which was a very, very strange choice by Eisner back in the day. But basically this ride, 4 players ride inside a rescue vehicle to save astronauts. 1 player drives, the other 3 shoot enemy aliens, and it was based on extraterrestrial alien encounter. It's just a very weird one. I don't know why they went into this so deep. They went hard with this. Very, very weird. Very weird. It just very strange. So now that we've looked at all 5 floors of the rides and the experiences that Disney Quest offered, it's safe to say it was a innovative indoor theme park that did surprisingly well, considering there was only one of them. I myself got to go in 2011. It was very, very fun. I did the Jungle Cruise and the Pirates of the Caribbean. What else did I do? I feel like I did a couple of the other rides up at the top. I think I did the Buzz Lightyear one, and it was pretty fun. You know, it was a good day to get, it was a good afternoon spent in there. The games were interesting, the concept was cool, I enjoyed the atmosphere. Like, deep down, I am a little bit of a nerd, a bit of a gamer. I'm probably no surprise to y'all because, you know, I used to have a gaming channel, but long since defunct because I don't use it anymore. So yeah, I play games in my spare time now when I get the chance. Like I'm playing a game called Arcade Paradise, and this is kind of reminiscent of that. And this kind of came from that idea, and I shout out as well at the end. So keep watching. Yeah, but it was super fun. It was a very, very cool concept. It worked very well up until, it didn't. And I feel like it was declining as time went on. And it needed to move along. I feel like things like that don't last long because the technology is ever growing. Like in 1998, they were trying to use VR. I know. I mean, look at how Nintendo did that with the Virtual Boy, and it didn't end well. It was poorly done. It was up to date until it wasn't, and that's the issue. But now that we've had a history lesson, now that I've had a little bit of a rant, let's go back to the present day and how theme parks are implementing video game aspects into today's ride systems. So, from the top of the old noggin here, I can think of a few rides that are game based in Walt Disney World. In Magic Kingdom, maybe to some, the non-conventional type, but I'm considering it. Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin. This ride has you shooting lasers with a laser gun, racking up points to become a galactic hero, fighting off the evil Emperor Zurg, using a ride vehicle and a mounted gun. It's kind of like a rail shooter. If you're familiar with games and such, I'm talking like House of the Dead from like Dreamcast era, like early 2000 kind of era, where you like shoot so many enemies and then you spin and you shoot so many more. That's kind of how I see that, where you have a finite amount of time to do as much damage or rack as much points as you possibly can before moving on to the next section. It's a lot of like continuous, and then moving on to Hollywood Studios, there are a couple here as well. One in Toy Story Land named Midway Mania, which is a 3D experience. Again, it's the same kind of concept as Space Ranger Spin, except this time it's carnival games. It's all on screens. You got a certain amount of time to like shoot as many points as possible to be like the top dog of the day. It's the same kind of concept as Space Ranger Spin. But let's go to a galaxy far away, to a planet called Batuu, to talk about Smuggler's Run. This ride is a pinnacle of what I expect immersive rides to be like of this genre, using technology to not only have you control the Millennium Falcon, but also using it to destroy the exit queue. And how well you did is a stroke of genius, and it determines every time that you use this. Like if you pilot the Millennium Falcon poorly, you'll see it the Millennium Falcon will be destroyed in the exit queue. You do pretty well, it looks alright, You crash, it's going to affect your score. It's going to affect your bonuses at the end. And that is how rides of that caliber I can see going forwards. Now, I've said this a millennium times, but I'm not a fan of Star Wars. But I can appreciate the level of commitment it takes to make this ride immersive, almost like a video game. And I, for one, I'm quite excited to give it a go, because the gamer in me be like, yes, I want to give it a go. It looks fun. It does look fun. I'm not a Star Wars fan. I'm not going to be rushing to, but if I'm in the area, hey, I'll pilot the Millennium Falcon. I'll shoot some baddies. Why not? Why not? You know what I mean? Why not? And now, ladies and gents, Disney adults, I pose you the original question. Can theme parks make you a gamer? Yes and no. If you're involved in the gaming community, it's great to see the recognition from such places as Disney incorporating it into their theme park. But also no. As if you're not a gamer, you can still enjoy the ride for what it is. Sure, it has gaming elements to it, but it is still a ride. A ride that is accessible to everyone, regardless of skill level, and that is what it's all about. Gaming is for everyone, and rides like these are for everyone too. Overall, it's very, very cool to see Disney putting all of this in and having the opportunities to see this in more mainstream. Gaming is becoming a part of everyone's life nowadays. Technology is growing, and it's good to see that technology is growing with it. And it's no surprise that Disney was always a marvel at technology, so it doesn't surprise me that they were one of the first to do it. Of course, Universal have done it with Villain Con, which is like a again, like a rail shooter. You are on a standing platform. It looks fun. Give it a go. If you're there, give it a go. I don't think there's any footage of it, but give it a go. It looks fun. It sounds fun. But yeah, I think Disney have smashed it with this. In terms of Disney Quest and how it all began, from what I could see in the parks, I don't think there was anything before that. But that was the starting point from what I can see. And it's cool to see it immerse itself further into the 21st century because, you know, it's always fun. It's good to see these things happening with the parks and with the rides and things like that. And I hope you enjoyed this video. It was fun to research. It was fun to see the beginning of Disney Quest. And I'd like to give a shout out to Infamous Gaming for his article he recommended, and where this whole idea of this video came from. Initially I was just going to make a video about the article, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to make a video about the history of how it started in the parks and how it is today. And I hope all of y'all enjoyed. A big shout out to Melikka Games for the narration and the sensual voice of the narrator in the skit. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe for more videos like this and the podcast as well. I'll catch y'all real soon. Have a magical day.